What is good, y'all? You are listening and watching the Alternative Facts Podcast, episode 55. GQ.
Yo, it's your boy BarZ.
Oh, it's Danger Felix, a.k.a. Too Happy to Be Here.
Damn happy to be here. Hey, man, listen. The word of the day is entanglement.
That's what we're doing.
The word of the day is entanglement.
All right, boys and girls.
It's actually funny because, okay, so before we get into that, a lot of us, me in particular, revered the Smith family as just that model couple that everybody aspires to be.
Okay.
Their relationship is beautiful. Everybody wants to have that Will and Jada love. And then they had a little bit of a breakup, I'm assuming. According to them. They had a little bit of, because it's been a long rumor that they've been swingers. A lot of people believe that they're swingers. I don't want to believe it, but that's been the rumor for a long time.
Wait, why don't you want to believe it?
Because I don't want to taint that image of who Will Smith is in my head. You know what I mean? So I don't want to believe that he participates in that type of thing.
Wait.
Okay. So from what I understand, because there was speculation that Jada and August Alsina had a little bit of a relationship. And recently, during an interview with Angela Yee, August Alsina pretty much confirmed that there was a true relationship. I mean, you know, they smashed, but this turned into a full-blown relationship in his eyes, right?
Right.
And during the interview, because you know how certain people will, you know, air dirty laundry about a certain situation, and sometimes you'll be like, nah, I don't believe them. It's a clear consensus to everybody that I've listened to on YouTube and on different podcasts that August is telling the truth, because it seemed like he was speaking from the heart. He had his hair all out. He was getting his Keisha Cole on. And he felt, he looked like he was genuinely hurt. So people are like, oh snap, is this true? We can't wait to hear what Jada has to say. Then Jada releases a tweet that goes, a lot of healing needs to take place, so I'm bringing myself to the table. So then this past Friday, the episode drops. She brings herself to the table with Will. It pretty much confirms that, yes, the relationship took place, but it took place, according to them, during their break, because they were having some issues. They were about to split. So Will did his thing, Jada did hers, and I guess hers came back to bite her in the butt after getting piped down and her back blown out.
Can't keep her hoes in check.
So
Will, he's chilling. He's cool.
Is he chilling though? Because he looks very hurt. If you've watched, did you watch the interview, the Red Table Talk episode?
Are we doing?
So.
Getting into it? Oh yeah.
He looked hurt.
He still got some feelings about it, dude. He got feelings about it. Just because
he was joking too.
Just because you got your side piece too, like you got to do your thing, it don't change the fact that what originated it was not you. You wasn't like, you know what? I feel like I need time apart to go handle some stuff. It was like she was like, I'm not happy and I'm not sure what that unhappiness is. So I need to go find that, and you need to stay here.
Wait. On the contrary, though, because what was told in the interview now at the Red Table was that they had issues, and Will was ready to say, "Peace out." He was out of there.
Yeah.
So was it
over with?
So was the issue the fact that she needed to go find happiness, and he was like, no, I'm not with that. Was that the issue? Or was there issues before that led to...
No, there was issues before that, apparently.
Yeah, there were issues before that, and Will had got to his last straw. He was like, fuck it, I'm out of here. And that's what she was saying. She was like, rightfully so. Like, he was right in wanting to not be there. So something happened that Will was good enough to where he was okay leaving his wife and family.
Yeah.
And he accepted the fact that, here's, this young kid coming in and he's handling my wife or whatever they were doing. He's cool with it. Honestly, I think for Will, it was maybe more him being annoyed that he even has to address this.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I also feel like Will wasn't under the impression that it was deeper than just sex.
You said he was not under the impression?
I think Will Smith thought it was just a fling that they were having.
Until when? He saw vacation photos?
Say it again?
So you saw the vacation photos?
I saw those, but I feel like because
you don't take your side nigga on vacation with you. That's crossing the line. It's rules.
That's the whole thing. Will Smith was there the entire time. He was
on the vacations with them?
Yeah, they all went out together.
August was at the house. They had August. They was helping August. August was at the house.
So I thought they were taking separate vacations. So Jada and August was not on separate vacations with the family without him?
Not all the time. They went on vacation as a family with Will there, and Will had his chick there too. What's her name? Lisa Koshy or something like that at the time.
Oh, YouTube chick.
Check her out. They went on vacation also. Her and Will Smith.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I think this whole time Will and Jada had an understanding.
Yeah.
August came in. Those three had an understanding. Mm-hmm. What Jada and August did, Will was totally fine with. My bad. I think
I'm about to say that you left us in suspense.
You good? Yeah. I thought the Smith family had taken him out.
I think the fact that the relationship between Jada and August was over years ago, and now he's coming out talking about it now, on top of an album release. Yeah, I think that causes frustration in the household as more than anything.
Because they got to relive it all over again.
Yeah, I think they were already good with how things were and what the situation was. But the fact that now she's coming out here and she's speaking now. Now she's speaking. She's making this shit public. This was private, but she's making it public now. So now
she's making it public because August made it public. Everybody was demanding.
I was calling August though. August was the she. He was.
My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was like they were kind of in a position where they have no choice, and they have to address it because if they don't address it, it's going to spiral out of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like for
now
August,
here's where a lot of people are giving Jada Pinkett the side eye, because during the interview, Will was like, straight up, "So what happened, Jada?"
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if she spent all kinds of hours of the night, doing that. But check it out. I feel like she borrowed T.I.'s dictionary when she discovered the word entanglement, because I have the dictionary definition of entanglement, right? But there's two definitions. So she actually did her due diligence in researching this word, because the first definition is the action or fact of entangling or entangled, but the second definition is a complicated or compromising relationship or situation.
Yeah, you're right. You're damn right. She did her Googles before she came to the red table. She had to call it something else other than what it was.
Yeah, so that was the whole thing.
Corrected that ass though.
Yeah, he did. He was like, listen.
He was like,
don't dress it up. Don't dress it up.
You're not gonna do that.
He's like, entanglement, you mean relationship? And she was like, that's what I said.
Call it what it is. Call it what it was.
Yeah, that's why I appreciate. I said the same thing to Elle about me having an issue with it, because, and I still have an issue with the way that the table talk works when it comes to the relationship, because it's like, oh, this is honest, open, and raw, kind of. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what they do. Because with this whole situation, you know, they kind of did the same thing last time. You remember where they were trying to address the rumors of them being swingers, where they talked about, well, sometimes when it gets to that point, you have to live on your side, you do your thing.
See,
it was still cryptic. Like you were letting us in,
they're really
but not
dancing
completely
around.
in. So I was like, all right. But
should
what
they,
I appreciated, huh?
Should they though? Do they have to do that?
No, they don't. They really don't. You know what I mean? I think that like most of like the reality TV, which it kind of like is a talk show / reality thing because these are their real lives. It's like, I'm gonna give you a peek of my real life, but you're not gonna see all the behind the scenes stuff that happens in their life. So while it does annoy me, that's their right. They don't have to share everything. And I appreciate that part of it though. And I think maybe that's what the Red Table is about. It's not always about you saying your full truth. Sometimes it's about the other person nudging you when you like, oh, well, you know, it was an entanglement. And someone on the other table has to be like, you mean a relationship?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like maybe that's how it plays. You have to play off each other. So yeah, you know.
You know what part hurt me? Because so Will goes, so what exactly were you looking for when you were doing what you were doing? She said, I wanted to feel good. It's been a long time since I felt good. That right there was like, ooh.
But see, geez.
Hold on. What did you think? What did you think?
No, it could be taken both ways. It could be taken, oh, I'm not treated well and I don't feel good about myself.
I'm disappointed in you, G.
Sexually. It could be all kinds of stuff.
I'm disappointed in you. As a Will Smith fan, you have the gall to make it seem like Will did something wrong to drive Jada into this young man's arms. That is not the case.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think it's something he wasn't.
It's not his responsibility.
Right.
His words, her is not my responsibility, and vice versa.
That's true.
Right.
But I feel like she wanted it both ways. I feel like the way she framed it, it's almost as if Will Smith wasn't doing something, and therefore, because of the absence of something, she wasn't feeling good, and she went elsewhere to find it.
Right, but in the same breath, though, she also said that Will Smith was done with their relationship. He was ready for it to be over with. So now you're not gonna feel good. Not from me. If I'm done, you're right. You're not gonna feel good. So yeah, you need to find that feeling from somewhere else. If I'm completely done with it.
Yeah.
So that's the way I took it. I mean, I didn't think that was any slight to Will Smith or anything.
That's part of the thing that makes it annoying, though, is because we don't know what that straw was.
Yeah.
For Will to walk away, and we also don't know what happened to make them come back together. Like there's still a lot of like blank spaces. Like you're getting the story, and there's some blank spaces. So I thought that was interesting. Like you said, it's their right to keep it under. But man, this.
Yo, I came across something.
I'm very curious.
It's funny. It's jokes. I don't even know if this is real. Hold on.
50 went in on him too.
50 going on everybody, man.
No, but they had 50 and Will actually texted each other back and forth, and then he took a screenshot of the conversation and posted it.
Okay, so check this out, right? You know how everybody got jokes with Will Smith and Jada, especially when it comes to Tupac.
Yeah. Oh God.
So I came across this online. I don't know how real this shit is, but if it's real, it's fucking hilarious. All right, it's Willow's letter to Tupac.
What?
Willow's letter to Tupac. It's a handwritten letter, and it's supposedly from when she was a younger girl, or whatever. So it kind of looks like a child's handwriting somewhere. But it says, "Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Come back so that my mommy and me can be happy. I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow."
So you know what's so messed up about this whole situation though? When I look at it, is that Will, a lot of people don't give Will the respect he deserves. You know what I mean? Like, they don't treat him like a nigga from Philly. They treat him like a nigga from Boca.
They really think the niggas from Bel Air.
Yeah, for real. And that's how they treat him. And I feel like this has not done that any service to himself, because this comes out, and not only does it come out like, okay, well, if your wife had a side piece, that's kind of messed up. You got to be angry about it, obviously. But for August to be like, well, I sat down and had a conversation with Will, and he gave me his blessing. That's
a little weird.
That's some old chump ass shit. You know what I mean?
I think that was a little extra sauce that August threw in.
And I don't know the funny thing about it is, I think a lot of the stuff that August said, I believe he's truly hurt. Yeah. I feel like he was a side piece that they gave too many liberties to. It got too comfortable. He thought that they were going to have a future with Jada. And then Jada was like, nah, this was just, some fun for me to figure out some stuff. Going back home, and he got his heart broken, but,
So wait, I'm trying to understand. So what you're saying he shouldn't have asked Will, talk to Will about it?
So my thing is, I'm trying to figure out if that was true or not, because I feel like if it was true, that's some chump stuff. Because on Will's part, because y'all still married, y'all can be separated all you want, bro. You're still married though. So my thing is, if me and my wife have an understanding that, okay, well, I'm gonna go do my thing with someone else, and you're gonna go do your thing with someone else, that's an agreement between me and her, right? I feel like it's less of a Trump move, because it's like, you know what, I'm with my wife making this agreement. I don't know anything about your side dude. You know what I mean? There's a level of the veil. But for him to sit down with me and being like, bro, are you cool with me, deep throating your wife?
Wait, okay. All right, so check it out though, right? But see, it's the dynamic of the relationships. It's the aesthetics that goes along with the story, right? So, okay, Jada and August was friends with Jada first, right?
August was friends with Jada first before she met Will?
Jada and the son.
Oh, okay. All right.
August and Jada were friends, okay? August came to a South by Southwest show in Texas, the festival they have in Texas. Yeah. Jada was performing, so August came out to support.
Okay.
Jada introduced him to his parents,
right,
who happened to be separated at the time, but they were there together, right? Okay. So that's how Jada and August was introduced, right? So I guess they started talking, all of them, the whole Tyler Smith family. They had him over. They were talking stuff. Found out that he was dealing with depression issues. He had health issues, all these things. So they brought him in, and they took care of him. They wanted to help him heal, get better, right? Okay. So I guess in this process, the things between Jada and August kind of started to progress a little bit. So August, knowing, okay, boom, okay, so this is your family. You guys brought me in. I'm not trying to break up the household by any means, but I have this understanding of y'all relationship. Y'all, yes, y'all are married, but y'all are also separated. So y'all doing your own things. So as a man, I'm coming to you because I'm in your household. One, you brought me into your household. So
and I respect you enough to bring it to your attention.
Right. I want to let you know that these are the things that are going on under your roof. So I don't want you to think I'm doing this behind your back, because you've done everything that you've done for me. That's how I looked at it. I looked at it as a respectable move. And for Will Smith, if he gave the okay, then that further tells me he was okay with the situation, with how it was. He was his own thing.
Yeah, I think that
as a man, like so if this was a nigga that you've never seen, you know what I'm saying, like she was legit your wife's side dude, then that's different. You know what I'm saying? But if this was a friend of yours, somebody we consider a friend. I'm not even gonna use us as an example. Just somebody you consider a friend who came to you. So who you consider a friend who came to you, and something happened between him and your wife or whatever like that, and he came to you and he talked to you about it. Yeah, you might have an issue with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a little different, as opposed to even if it was an outside nigga that came in, he was coming to you on some, yo, I'm fucking your wife, and that's just what's gonna be.
Right.
As opposed to, I want to let you know that this is what's going on between me and your woman, and I hope that you're okay with it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think that if that is the case, I didn't really fully get the background. So if that is the case, I could see it being a respectable thing from August's standpoint.
Yeah.
And I guess I shouldn't really feel some type of way about Will granting the blessings, because at the time, you know, if he was ready to leave before this, then they decided to amicably, you know, part ways. You have yours and you have mine. I guess I don't have a real issue with it. I think a lot of people are like going on, and I think it's just another level of what they told us before. You know what I mean? They didn't say that they were in an open marriage before. They also didn't say that they were not, which led me to believe that they definitely were.
They've made it.
My way. This is just another level to where we know who one of the players were and how the agreement was kind of specifically made. So I mean, and I don't even judge them for it, man. I got so many questions. I'm trying to figure out this dynamic because they speak with so much passion about each other. There's so much admiration,
they're friends,
strong union and bond, and then y'all split up for reasons we don't know, right? Y'all go have different people, then you come back together for reasons we don't really fully understand. Did Jada find her thing? Like, it's like a show. It's like watching a show and there's these mysteries. Like, what caused Will to call it quits?
But you gotta ask,
why does Jada return on the next episode of Never? Like, you never know.
But you gotta ask yourself though, in the dynamic of a marriage, right, in a relationship, there's more to it than just sex, right? So you can have every part of that relationship and marriage without the sex. If you take the sex out of it, you can still have that partnership, which is what they say they have. So the lifetime partnership. So they support one another, you know, they're there for one another emotionally, physically, if need be, or whatever like that. But we don't necessarily have to be romantic.
So with that though, right, if they're not going to have this romantic component in a sexual nature, because they could have a still romantic type, I guess, dinner and stuff like that and do all that stuff, why won't they just get divorced and then just have that? Because you maintain the friendship, you maintain all those things.
I feel like they don't want to because they're so focused on their image of each other as a family, I guess.
You think so? Because it wouldn't break up the family.
Into another marriage or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like this, they may be okay just staying married, keeping the names. All their kids have the names, keeping their names, and doing their own thing.
Yeah, what I'm trying to understand, like, so from what I'm gathering and the processing that still's going on, like me and Elle just before we got on had a whole conversation about this, like an hour, and one of the points that she made was that, like, we have our idea, right? Each individual, we have our idea of what marriage should be. Society has this kind of blueprint of what marriage should look like and what people should do and shouldn't do. And I think that one thing I respect about them is that they're very much changing what that means to be married in that union. And I don't know if it's necessarily changing, but it's showing us how they see marriage. You know what I mean? Yeah. They don't talk about, I remember on the other Red Table Talk, they didn't really use husband and wife as much as they used like partner, soulmate. You know what I mean? Like those constructs of society don't mean as much as what we're building. And I think that that is extremely refreshing to say that as a society, individually, don't follow what society is telling you is marriage. Figure it out for yourself. And I respect that. I do respect that, you know, a lot. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just kind of confusing based on what I understand the construct of marriage and what they're showing us their construct of marriage is. And it's just really interesting, though. But, you know, it's kind of, I don't know. It's a lot of stuff process, man.
These are two people who have grown up in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? So they've seen so much. They've done so many things. They've probably been with numerous of people. You know what I'm saying? It's probably to them where it's like the marriage part isn't even a big deal for them. And like it's probably not even. It's just the title.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Yeah.
So I wouldn't look too much into it. And you know, I found it interesting. They didn't end the interview with the kiss. They ended it with a high five.
High five.
Yeah. They ended it with
a high five. Do they normally end it with a kiss?
Well, they don't normally interview with each other like that either. So I just think it was interesting with this particular episode and the content of the episode for them to end it with a high five, especially after I think the last transcript number was something like Jada, you know, acknowledging that Will actually did keep his word and say that he would love her no matter what. Right. And he asked her, he was like, how good of a job am I doing? And she said, you're doing a damn good fucking job. And they ended it with a high five.
That was it.
So let me say two things. Oh, let me ask two things. One thing is, so what do you think that means? The fact that they ended it with a high five. You think that means?
I think that solidifies
Their friendship.
The friendship. They're letting you know, like, this is us. Like, we are friends. We support each other no matter what, and this is what it's gonna be. Period.
You think they're still romantically involved though? Like that's.
I feel like they do that every now and then, but I don't think it's the same as it used to be.
Yeah, and they said it. They're in a different part of their marriage. They don't consider each other husband and wife.
Because they're on, from what they said, they're on individual journeys together.
So this is the funny thing. I guess I'm gonna add on to that. So, the other thing I had is that. So, would you consider this, unconditional love?
Yeah.
Like, is this what unconditional love looks like? And is unconditional love, the second layer to that, is that healthy?
No.
I think this is probably their version of unconditional love, but I feel people have different levels of tolerance to different things. You know, what works for that couple may not work for another couple, and vice versa.
Yeah. And who knows where this falls at on the scale of the shit they've been through in their marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This could be way at the bottom compared to some other shit they could have gone through. So
that's the thing though. So if they're not really romantically involved though.
That we don't know that.
Because we don't know. It's just speculation based on the high five, right? And it's like, and again, I guess this is all up to our interpretation of what we think a marriage is. And I'm just thinking, you guys are together, and maybe that friendship bond is so strong and that it works. If it works, it works. We're happy. We like living in the same house together. We love going on vacations together. We just like to spend intimate moments with other people, but it works, for our union. Yeah. All right.
I mean, how can you be mad at it?
I mean, I really respect them, showing us their version of it. And I think it kind of has, I know for me, it has me thinking about what that means, my constructs of it. And when you talk about the whole unconditional love thing, and I asked that too, because in one of the previous table talks or the red tables where they both kind of expressed that divorce would be a failure for them. Mm-hmm. And my thing was like, all right, so is this really unconditional love where y'all really, nothing's going to tear you apart? Or is it this huge fear of divorce? And I was talking to Elle about it earlier. She pointed out that's probably not the case. It's probably not the fear of divorce, because obviously they're not really concerned about backlash, about the public. And also, Will got divorced, already.
And he made up his mind that divorce, he's never getting divorced again. That's what he said.
Right.
So with that though, do you think that that's because that's what they believe? Like divorce is not an option? Like I know
that's not an option for him. He made it clear to Jada, and Jada just complied.
And they're just like,
well, he also said that if they were to get divorced, that he will continue to look for what they have.
Okay.
And knowing that he can never find that type of soulmate again. Mm-hmm. He's like, I know I can never find this again. I'll always be searching for you.
Yeah. Right. I think that's.
Hi.
I think, like I said, I think they reached a point where they found what they're looking for in a partner, outside of sex. And now
I think they're still doing it. They look too good.
I think they still do. They seem and
two highly attractive Black people. Come on.
I think I don't know what episode this was on, but she said that their relationship. No, it was a different talk show that she was on, and she said that her relationship with Will is very relaxed, whatever that means. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that means they could do whatever the heck they want, and they're just okay with it. Which in my perspective, it's a little weird, but if it works for them, who am I to say anything? You know what I mean?
And early on, they talked about that where when they first got married, they were kind of adhering to those social constructs that we see in society as a norm. But then they were like, we quickly started to learn that we had issues. There's a lot more fighting because we had expectations of what you should be doing as a wife and what you should be doing as a husband. Instead, they let that go and just try to be themselves and not, adhere and have those things hold on to them.
I think that's something.
So I think that's what the relaxed thing is. I think the relaxed thing is that there's no pressure on you to feel like as a husband you have to do something. Do what you think is best, and I'll let you know how I feel about it, and we'll go from there. But it's not like, oh, you didn't take out the trash because you're not a good husband, or no, you didn't call my mom for her birthday because you're a bad wife. Like, it's not about that. It's like, oh, you didn't do something? Okay, I'd like if you do it, but that's what you want to do. Chill.
It's different levels of not giving a fuck. Different levels of not giving a fuck. They're too rich to give a fuck about the petty shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got a feeling this is abnormal to us, but this is probably
it's like an everyday thing to them.
People that works within their industry, that's on their tax bracket or whatever like that. I highly doubt Jay-Z's the only person Beyonce's fucking. I mean, for some reason, I just don't see it. You know what I mean?
I think it's deeper than that, because I saw a clip today. Danger's trying to process their situation. Mm-hmm. I saw a clip today where she talks about how what is it? Willow was asking, why is it that you fight more with your significant other than any other relationship? And Jada pointed out that in marriage you touch on each other's traumas, right? And I remember listening to The Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne was talking about how what he's realized is that marriage is about spiritual growth, like individually, and how that union creates a specific situation where you can't help but grow spiritually as a person. And because it touches on those traumas, everything you've been through in childhood, your marriage is going to touch on that and force you to either deal with it or give up, because it's that difficult. Yeah. And just Bobby, that's some real shit. When you get into that, like, that's when and you come out on the other side, that's when you found something.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be like. People are gonna tell you that marriage is this ideal. It is work, and only when you are strong enough, like at heart, to deal with it, like, I think, can you really be successful, because it will take you there.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Let me ask you guys something. Did Jada take advantage of a mentally ill, physically ill young adult?
I don't think she meant to.
He's a grown ass man. I don't think he was taking advantage. He was like 21, 20. How old is he? No, he was like, at the time, I think he was 24.
He's still grown. 21.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the intent was to prey on him. I don't think that's
right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The intention was not to do that. I think it grew into something else down the line.
But for her being in her position, this is your son's friend. He has issues. August has mommy issues. You know what I'm saying? He has serious mommy issues. So
wait, did she know that at the time?
I'm just assuming. Everything that we're talking about is we're assuming that we know what happened, what transpired during the situation. So I'm just assuming, with them being as close to her, this information probably was divulged, right? Yeah. So you guys don't think that, at some point Jada just kind of, had an itch that she wanted to scratch, and August just got a little too emotional with it?
I think that could happen in a lot of different. Yeah, I think it can happen in a lot of different situations, though. I think for a lot of people walking around with stuff that they don't know that they have, mommy issues and daddy issues that they don't know, and they meet people, and they don't know that they really have these things, and they meet people that they see characteristics that they're attracted to, that they think they're attracted to because they're attracted to it. But actually, it is those issues. Like, you happen to meet a woman who's nurturing because you weren't nurtured. You know what I mean? Like, you start to put the pieces together maybe later. Some of us never put the pieces together. You know what I mean? I think it was a situation where, he seemed cool, and it's probably started off as helping him, and that relationship probably grew on a romantic level. Yeah. But I think for him, you're 20-something, and Jada seems mad cool, right? She seems mad cool. She's built. She probably put it on him. And you're thinking about a future now. But for her, she's, just figuring some things out, trying some flavors of Baskin Robbins. And I think it can happen. It happens all the time. You know what I mean? It's not like new. So I don't think she was trying to prey on it.
She said she had codependency issues.
Yeah, because she's trying to fix them.
She
like a lot of women.
Yeah.
And
but you know what? Also, there's also some X factors in there too, because on August's side, you have to consider that maybe at one point or another in his childhood, he looked up to her and actually maybe at one point fantasized about her. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then for that fantasy to all of a sudden become reality, I'm sure he wasn't going to turn that down. On the flip side with Jada, I feel like when they got into whatever it is that they got into, I think she probably made it clear to him, this is all this is going to be. And when he felt like it was going to be more, it was like she came back and reminded him, oh, no, I told you from the very beginning, this is what this was going to be. I'm not leaving Will, period.
Yeah.
And he got into his feelings because he thought that maybe he could change her mind and didn't. And hence, they haven't spoken since.
Yeah, and that's one of my issues. And that's one of my issues, too, is that I saw the interview with August and Yi, and I really appreciated how honest he was and really, really open with a lot of his trauma in his past, and I respect that for real. He's talking about healing in Black community, being open, saying these things happen to me and I have these wounds, and that being the first step, and then working on healing and getting better.
Yep.
The issue that I had no problems with that. The issue I had is that this relationship supposedly was like at least a year or more ago. 4. Okay, so to my knowledge, at least a year, but if we have receipts, 4, right?
Yeah, she's 4 years ago.
Right? So I appreciate you speaking your truth, but don't speak someone else's truth. You know what I mean? Talk about your family, talk about your sister and how you went through, substance abuse and all that. Cool, do that. Be open, brother. Talk about your heart being broken because of a relationship that you had that thought was going somewhere, but it turned out not to go somewhere. You don't name drop. You know what I mean? You don't put the Smiths in that position to talk about their business now. Because like you said, they had to address it. You don't do that, man. Like, I understand that that's your story, but part of telling your story is making sure that you don't tell somebody else's story. That's not your right. That's not your place. You had a relationship, but you shouldn't do that. I thought that was wrong. And what compounded that for me is the fact that he had a project coming out.
He has a project coming out, and that's when he chooses.
That sounds like some opportunist stuff. Like he's going to make sure
it was like
not fail.
Yeah, it was like the day before the project.
Say it again?
It was like the day before the project dropped.
Yeah, and I don't like the fact that, okay, this may be your truth, right? But this happened 4 years ago. Within those 4 years, you didn't feel like it was important to bring it up until you have an album to release?
Oh, he did. When he tried to release the album a couple of years ago, he released a song.
Oh, no, I saw that with the text message.
Insinuated that was
right.
Jada.
Yeah, but then he retracted and said, no, this is not about Jada, when it was probably about Jada.
My thing is, he shouldn't have done it in the first place, bro. That's not your story. That's not your place to tell. That's like kissing and telling, man. That's some real foul stuff. And I feel like, I'm not in the industry, so I don't know, but I feel like that's kind of like a known thing. You know what I mean? You don't kiss and tell.
Well, it is his story too. It's just the timing. Timing is questionable. So
his story is, I was in a relationship with someone who broke my heart.
Right.
Not I was in a relationship with Jada. Because now that's her story.
Right.
Yeah.
When you start name dropping, you can tell your part of the story about how you did it to a girl. Drake does it all the time. We have no idea which one of those stories.
Well,
It's gonna bring more attention to the project that he's working on, that he's releasing. So
yeah,
I think that's why
is he gonna write a song about Jada? People want to listen now.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that was right.
They're gonna read into every single lyric.
Everything.
Yeah.
But see now, okay, so this is why I say, so this is what we call clout chasing, right? And I say for August, this is clout chasing because I want to say maybe a day or two after that, something happened on Twitter between him and Keke Palmer. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. No. But a fan had tweeted Keke Palmer an old picture of her and August in a car together. And I think they were asking, like, were they ever together or something like that? And Keke responded, she was like, LOL, no, I was never in a relationship with August. He was never my man. And told the fan that she was reaching or something like that. So all these came back and he snapped like, yeah, you fucking right. I was never your man. I would never be in a relationship with a mentally disabled person. Just go.
Oh
like,
my
go,
God.
saying
And
how
I
she was
don't think that
begging
was
him.
necessary because
You know
it
what I'm
wasn't
saying?
necessary because Kiki didn't say anything disrespectful about August. She just said, no, we were never in a relationship.
At all.
Oh,
But
he
here's
has some issues.
somebody with some relevancy that he can piggyback on top of the Jada and Will thing. So that's why I'm looking at it like it's crazy. It's crazy.
But it makes him look real bitter too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I just don't like the fact that people are making so many jokes about Will. Like he did something wrong or he's affected by this in a negative way or something like that. I think Will is perfectly fine with everything.
But 50 went in because he texted Will and he was like, yo, Will, you good? He's like, I appreciate the concern, my brother. And then he said something along the lines of, because I don't think you would get permission to blow my wife's back out.
Yeah.
And Will Smith's
I mean, could you get that? Could you get that though? Because that's the standard, bro. That's the standard. That's why it's weird. It's like, wait a minute. The whole situation is weird for how we as a society, we as men, mostly we as men. I think that this is from a male perspective where you telling me that you let your wife go sleep with another dude, like that shit sounds crazy to us. But they were separated, and they have their own individual thing. But it's out in the public, and the public gonna attack it, man. They're gonna eat that up, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And G,
All the time.
those are fake DMs, right?
Oh, they are?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It comes from Michael Blackson and 50
Michael
Cent.
Blackson did a similar.
They're not sliding Will Smith's DMs talking about somebody blowing Jada's back out. Like he's still Will Smith. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think even 50 knows better than to say something like that to Will, because Will has a little bit more pull than 50.
A little bit.
Will can make things happen to shut him up.
A little bit.
Yeah.
JD partnered up with Will.
Yeah.
Not the other
Will Smith sent some body snatches after you, man.
I feel like they're more married. I think than we realize, because I don't think they would have came out after the fact to address it had it not been a situation where, I think Will's like, listen, I'm getting attacked.
Yeah.
Black Twitter picked this up. And the concern for him and their marriage, I think that when I looked at body language. Jada looked uncomfortable, and Will is like holding her accountable.
Yeah.
Like, okay, don't say that you guys had an entanglement.
No, tell him what really happened.
Yeah.
What did, you need to be clear, and I love that because it's almost like, listen, this occurred because of something that you did. Granted, I forgive you, but you need to come out and address it and be honest.
Especially if I'm going to be here on the front line with you supporting you.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they're more married than we realize. I think a lot of the terminology is new to a lot of people. Talking about a partnership. I think they're working things out in a way that doesn't involve the normal constructs of marriage. Mm-hmm. But I do think that they're more married than we think.
I believe it. I think they're solid. I think they're solid as fuck right now.
Yeah.
I just think it's unfortunate that, the general public, we look at something that's so like,
unconventional.
I guess we held Jada and Will Smith to a certain level of relationship goals, right? Sure. Even with everything we knew, like it's not a secret. Like supposedly they're swingers and they're open and all this stuff. That's never been a secret. So even with everything that we know, and here we go, we have this situation. It's like we couldn't wait for something to happen to try and kind of tear them down just a little bit, or to bring it down just a little bit.
I don't know if I'm convinced they're swingers, and I think shouldn't the goal be that, well, here every marriage have issues, and this is how we worked it out. Because I think even with Barack and Michelle mentioned in her book that they had to go to therapy because she wasn't happy. People were like, oh my gosh, I'm just like, well, shouldn't that be the goals though? Like, shouldn't it be the goals that we can talk honestly about what makes me unhappy and things that I'm going through, and then we go handle it,
and to explain the great lengths that you're willing to go to make sure that you can handle that.
Right.
Yeah, I think the goal is the veil that as a society we've constructed, and what we're seeing from celebrities is the real. Those are the real goals. Like your goal is to be able to go through some real rough shit and be able to come out on the other side, not to not go through shit. You know what I mean? You don't learn to not go through shit. Like you learn how to deal with your shit when it happens.
Right.
I feel like those are the real goals, and that's what we see. And that's why, you're gonna get some different opinions. You know, there's gonna be some people on one side that look at this like myself. Like overall, I think that this was an amazing thing, and I think this was really helpful. Understanding how bad things can get, and understanding that hey, sometimes people have to be apart, and people live separate lives while they're apart. And it doesn't mean that you should go out and do the same, but it lets you know that there's nothing wrong with being separated. I feel like that's not something that we accept as society. You're separated from your husband, you're separated from your wife. What's going on? You guys need a divorce? Like that's the train of thought people go to. But sometimes it's like, oh, people part, and maybe people need to go through the journey, figure out their shit, and come back. And I feel like I respected and I appreciated that aspect of it.
And you know, they have that old school love. You know what I'm saying? That what your grandparents had. I found out a year ago. My grandparents, they've been together since they was 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? God rest my grandfather's soul. He passed away in 2015, right before his 80th birthday. So they've been together since from that time to that time.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that they had a small break within their marriage where they were separated. My granddad had to live in a separate apartment, whatever, some shit like that, because he was doing shit on the side. Like that it happens. But they were able to
when did you find that out, Bobby? When did you find that out? You find out like years later, right?
Yeah.
No one talks about it. No one talks about it.
No one talks about it. No one talks about it. No, I couldn't dare ask my grandmother about it.
But I feel like that's the problem. We're missing the lesson. We should. I remember when my friend Sarah, like, you know, James knows her, like, you told me her and her husband separated for a time. I'm like, what? They're like, they have that type of goals relationship. And just talking to all of my friends, you know, who are married, they're, you know, and they tell me their truth. I'm just like, well, no one tells you this when you're single. That's what I'm telling all my single friends. Listen, you know, this is not for the faint of heart. You know, you are going to go through some stuff. But I feel like that's where we're missing the lesson. There should be, our parents and grandparents should be talking to us about those times, not, oh, this is going to be so great. This is going to be this ideal, this fairy tale.
I don't think they go into details. Like, I don't think, you know, some grandparents may be open. You know what I'm saying? My grandparents, they're very into church and stuff like that. So, you know, my granddad, he was head deacon. You know, so it's some things, you know, it's an image type of thing. You know, they want to up my grandfather. And he's a great man. He's been a great man. Nothing that can be told to me will ever change the image that I have of him. You know, it's just
but I do feel like sometimes when certain things are brought up, even if it's not an explicit detail, it helps bring some more relatability to those people, and it humanizes them, because now it's not like some far-fetched goal that everybody's trying to aspire. It makes them believe, oh well, if they go through this and they can conquer it, well, then maybe I can do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think when you look at it like an example your grandfather would be, I think it has to do with, I think, that time. You know what I mean? It's been perpetuated. Like, everything is always fine. You keep up with the Joneses. There's always like these things that in society we always upheld. So everything was always good. There was never any fights. Like that was the veil that everybody, you know, subscribed to, because you didn't want people judging you. I think that was the fear of the judgment, is that if you're having troubles in your marriage, most of the time they look at the wife. The wife's doing something wrong. You know, if you know, you're sleeping in a different apartment, you know, what does that mean? And I feel like it's just it's the judgment that people were so afraid of, especially in that time of our grandparents' time, especially. But I also find that for me personally, in my parents' time, there's things that they didn't share, or they tried to spin certain stories and make it look better than it really was. I think it's just the fear of the judgment of others, even when it's like family, which is weird. You think you know, be open with your fam, but
I mean,
I do find it interesting when I hear, you know, at a wedding, you know, the pastor says, you know, keep your business. Don't get advice or don't get outside advice in regards to your relationship. It's like, well, if you do that, then how do you expect to overcome some of the things that you may need to overcome if you don't have a second opinion, or if you don't have somebody to mediate the situation? You know, that never made sense.
it's important to find people that you trust.
Yeah.
I think that's important too. Find people that you trust, because there are haters out there that you can talk to give you advice. And for me, it's finding those friends who are married, who are cheerleaders for my husband and I. Yeah. I know that these people are cheering for us, you know, and they want us to win. That's the people, you know, even if she just wants me to win, you know what I mean? That's the people that I'm going to talk to, you know? Yeah. And I think, you know, that neutral party that can say, and I appreciate the friends who can look at me and say, you know, you're wrong for that. Elle, you shouldn't have said that. You know, I appreciate that. And to me, that's a litmus test. Can you call me out on my stuff? Yeah. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Man, I think we spent the hour on just this topic alone. Okay.
I think that's wild because we really got into it. And Soulpatch, this is his topic. And by the time he jump on, he can be like, all right, let's talk about the Will and Jada thing. I'm like,
red table talk.
Okay, so we have, all right, so Danger, I see you have a horror story involving a bathroom and COVID.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Please share.
So, you know, we're all in this pandemic together. We're all trying to do our best to be safe. And I had a situation I felt that was important to share. Got to be careful out there.
Okay.
So, as I think I shared this on like the last podcast. So I've been going into the office, into the building, for a couple of days a week, you know, to try to get some work done. And one day, like last week, like 2 weeks ago, I went to go use the restroom. All right. So I had to go take care of some business, like the type of business that requires a newspaper, not the type of business that you whistle to.
Understood.
So I do everything I'm supposed to do, right? So we have a protocol in the building. You wear your mask. I wear my mask in the bathroom. I wash my hands before I use the bathroom because I touched the door or I may have touched something in the hallway. So I wash my hands, have my mask on, go into the bathroom, right? Get myself situated. My phone falls on the floor.
Stop. Oh, Lord.
I didn't know what to do. I just stared at it. I was just like,
what part of the floor?
What do you do?
Huh?
What part of the floor?
Was it?
What part? Like, what you mean it's a bathroom? It is a men's bathroom. What part of the floor is good? What part
Does the phone fall face first or back first?
Was it by the sink? Like, I mean, there's different levels of infection.
Does it matter? Does it matter if it was by the sink where you just made boo-boo and then the hands that you splashed up without the soap fell into the ground?
Part of the phone,
closer
part
to
of
the
the
toilet
phone
made it worse?
Did it land on the back of the phone or the face?
Screen first. Screen was touching the surface. The part that touches your face was on the floor.
Damn.
That was the face. I was looking at the back of the phone, the part that your hand touches. And I was like, I said, you know what? Normally, you know, I would go to pick it up quickly, but at this point I stopped myself and I was like, nope. But I had to figure out what I was gonna do. Because after I finished my business, like,
yeah.
Wait, your phone was there the whole time?
You just left it there while you finished your business.
So that's what I was thinking of doing. I didn't actually stop myself. I picked it up immediately because I'm not used to leaving it on the floor. I'm used to doing what I normally do. So now I picked it up with my left hand.
Okay. Viewers,
if you don't know by now, Danger is primarily left-handed. I'm ambidextrous, but I'm primarily left-handed. Let that sink in for a second. About to use the bathroom. Left hand is now contaminated. Can't use it.
You're ambidextrous.
Right. I'm ambidextrous though. I've never had to do this sport. I've never had to do this sport right hand.
How ambidextrous are you?
So I was scared. I was like, be sitting there touching the back of my shoulders.
You're sitting there like, can I pull this off?
So, I was so mad at myself. I was like,
why didn't you just grab some tissue, wrap the phone up in some tissue, put it on, like, you have a ledge or something in the stall?
I ended up putting it on the stall anyway. But what do I do about my hand? I don't have hand sanitizer with me.
Grab it with some tissue so you don't touch the phone. And then wrap the phone in tissue.
That would
on the stall.
That would have been good if I didn't. That was my instinct was to pick it up. Because before the pandemic.
Yeah, that makes too much sense, L.
What happened?
That's a summer crisis.
I mean, I don't go. I mean,
Danger when
everything
it's
was
panic
issue.
mode.
And when I finished, when I actually picked up the phone, I realized what I had done. I was just like,
Maybe as women, we're such germaphobes, we think about these things.
I guess so. I mean, as a germaphobe, though, I didn't want it to stay on the ground that long. I figured if I could pick it up, 3-second rule, right? But it's a pandemic now, so it's not just germs. I don't care if it was just germs. Just germs. I pick the phone up, wipe my butt, be gone. It's not about just germs. It's about COVID germs. I don't want this to be the story. I don't want them to be like, Danger Felix. Today, Danger Felix catches COVID. When asked where he got it from, he said he was wiping his ass. I don't want that to be me. I want to have a cool story. You know what I mean? If it has to go down that way. I was drinking. I forgot. I wiped my hand because I was sweating. That's my story. Not, I was trying to use the bathroom and I dropped my phone on the floor.
I've seen people.
Who's gonna respect that?
I've seen women walk into stalls and put their phone on the floor while they pee. I've seen this happen.
Before COVID, though, right?
Before COVID, but that's
still,
nasty.
Gross.
Either way,
that's gross.
like who does that?
That's pretty gross.
And I want it to be like, girl, what you doing?
Yeah, women are gross. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, and y'all squat.
That's what happens when you don't have pockets.
I mean, if you don't have pockets, put it in your bra. I mean, there's other
Yeah,
ways.
you're right. Yeah, they should have gotten creative and figured out some type of place to put it without having to contaminate it.
Yeah, someone to share that story. Be careful out there, guys. Be careful.
So speaking of COVID, right? So I had a little divine intervention situation happen. So at my second job over at Jafco, right? They had to cut my hours because of low enrollment because of the fear of COVID. So I was like, man, okay, I got to figure out something because even the stuff that I do on the side, like video, audio, whatever, you know, that's not really going to be consistent. So I broke down. I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me go on the unemployment assistance website, fill out some paperwork, see if I can get a little bit of assistance until I get back to work, right? So I'm filling out the paperwork. I get to the section where it says, when will your job call you back? So at this point, I'm like, well, damn, I don't know. All right, let me just put July 20th, right? So following day, I get called in. They're like, hey, Garrett, we need your assistance with some video production stuff. So I'm like, oh, that's my world. Let's go. So I go, and this was July 3rd. No, July 2nd. So I'm at the job, and I'm in a separate part of the building than where the typical staff usually is with caretaking the kids and all that good stuff, right?
Right.
So then later on, we get an announcement towards the end of the day saying, hey, listen, we're going to have to shut down for the next 2 weeks because we just found out that one of our members got the COVID. So everybody in the workplace is going to have to get tested while the whole job shuts down for the next 14 days. And the letter says it will be closed until July 20th. July 20th, the date that I had no idea was going to be significant until I got that announcement.
That was God.
Crazy.
Yep. He was like, nah, you're going to need it until the 20th.
I'm like, whoa. So,
you don't know it yet, but it's going to come.
Exactly.
So
So
have you had similar situations happen in your life?
say it again.
Have you had similar situations happen in your life, like where you do things and it turns out it's almost prophetic?
Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't hear the other podcast with the car?
Oh.
He was almost hit by a car.
But you know, you may have a prophetic gift that you haven't tapped into.
On his way to churches, right? He was going to churches?
I think so.
Yeah.
Church's chicken.
He's chicken. He's going to get chicken.
Yep. And I made my order and I was about to cross the street to pick up some antifreeze for my car. And that's when it happened. So it's like, it's been happening more frequently. And I feel like Ella's right. I feel like that's probably something that I need to pray on a little bit more.
Pray about. Yeah.
Because to be that precise on those different situations I gotta look into what's going on there. So,
Angels is working overtime during this pandemic, bro.
Man,
For real.
Yeah,
For real. On all of us.
Yeah,
they out there.
Protecting those of us are here and guiding those of us are not, man.
Absolutely. So hurts people. What's that about?
So this is a very interesting thing. I had not realized it was going on, and maybe it's because I haven't just been going through, like, it didn't catch my eye, going through stories and stuff. But apparently there's this thing that has been happening even before the pandemic. And I think it's probably coming to light now because Hertz, the rental car company, filed for bankruptcy. I think that's probably why these stories are coming out. So apparently Hertz was bringing people up on charges for people who rented their cars.
Hertz was bringing people up on charges for people renting their cars?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
People spent time in jail because they rented a car from Hertz.
Why exactly?
And what was the charge?
Is it grand theft? Is it grand theft?
Wait a minute.
Let me pull it up to make sure I get the proper charge. Yeah. So what happened was Hertz was sending reports to the cops that these cars had been stolen. However, the cars had not actually been stolen. There's a glitch in Hertz system where if you didn't have enough money, like when you go to rent a car, you put down money. Right? Normally it's like a credit card, debit card. They do a hold, right? To check to make sure you have that money. They do a hold where the money doesn't necessarily come out. It just taps your account to say, yep, this amount is in here, right? Then you go ahead and rent your car. And then when you bring the car back, it actually takes out the money. So now, if you have the money in your account when they tap it to verify, okay, the money's here, then you bring the car back. And all of a sudden, when you bring the car back, those funds are not there. It'll give you like a decline, right? So what was happening is people were getting in the decline and they were like, oh, no, the money's there. Let me put it through again. And they put it through the second time. It actually paid, right? They got receipts and everything, and then they went about their business. There's a glitch in Hertz system where that second transaction where it actually got approved wasn't really registering. So while the money was in there, it was registering the first one, which was the decline. So people were taking the cars.
Free rental without being charged.
Oh,
right. So it shows that people were taking cars, right? But it was weird because it shows that they never they never actually brought the car back, is what the system showed.
But how is that the fault of the renter if it's a glitch in the system?
It's not. That's why the people who actually were sent to prison, who had lawsuits, had to actually get, lawyers and stuff to actually resolve the matter. Mm-hmm. Somebody spent a couple of months, I believe. Yeah. So one person, Hannah Ayub, said, I spent 3 months in jail. It did a lot of damage. She didn't spend 3 months in jail for a car that she actually paid for. This is out in, one of the places was out in Delaware. I think one was out in Georgia. They said that they can't keep track of their own inventory. So the cars are being reported as stolen because the system can't keep track, the computer system is not properly keeping track of these transactions and these check-ins of cars.
It's crazy.
Hertz would have me fucked.
For real, right? I mean, I wonder how many lawsuits are out there. Maybe this is part of why Hertz is going bankrupt. They got all of these musclings, these negligent lawsuits.
Whoever invested in Hertz stock is pissed right now.
Yeah. I think they're done. I think they're gonna be done, bro.
You know what? You know another company that I think is done?
Who's
Goya.
Goya?
Goya?
BarZ, you want to listen on that?
What's that old school? Goya, old Boya? Classics. We gotta bring those back. Amazing marketing.
So what did the CEO of Goya say exactly?
Well, CEO. Well, I'm trying to get this guy's name. Got the last name, which I don't know how to pronounce it at all.
It's Goy.
Nah. The last name is it's Bob Unanu. Bob Unanu.
Okay, that sounds accurate.
Yeah, that seems all right.
But yeah, he firmly supports Trump. He is all for Trump. He made an appearance at one of Trump's rallies, praising the president, saying he's the greatest president we've ever had, and he does so much for the community. And it's just interesting coming from the CEO of Goya, which is probably, I don't want to say the largest because I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's one of the largest Hispanic or, is that the correct term, Hispanic?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it's between, is Sazon under Goya, or is it its own separate company?
No, I think it's under the Goya brand, right?
Sazon?
Yeah, it's under Goya's umbrella, so yeah.
Well, it's one of the bigger brands that is connected to the Hispanic community.
I think to an extent. So to a smaller extent, island community too, right? The Caribbean too.
We use those bouillon cubes.
Okay.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
And it's fucked up because I really like their beans too.
Well, you can like them from afar, brother. Okay, you're gonna have to take time out, bro. All right.
Oh man.
I'm gonna go switch over some Bush's baked beans. They haven't said anything racist yet.
He makes $10 billion a year. It's a $10 billion business when you have 4,000 employees. Think about that.
Yeah.
There's money right there.
So,
That's like almost all profit at that point.
Really?
Yeah, because you know the employees, with 4,000 employees, is not making bank.
Oh no, they're not. Not at all.
Take that minimum wage.
Half of the family not getting paid.
So now, speaking of other organizations possibly being in trouble, so TikTok, #1 social media app right now, right? Recently they were banned in India because China and India are beefing for whatever reason. But now there's talks that USA might ban TikTok as well. And a lot of TikTok influencers are pissed. But then at the same time, because I'm on this little app called Rizzle, the CEO reached out to a lot of us Rizzlers that have like 10 million views or more.
Okay.
And they want us to be involved in a tweet storm that's taking place on tomorrow, 12 Eastern, where we go on Twitter and we do the hashtags fund Rizzle and venture capital, because what they're speculating is that they're going to see a huge surge in accounts and users if indeed TikTok does get banned in the US, because we're already seeing it now where there's a lot of TikTokers that jump ship to Rizzle as of lately. And if this ban is something real, there may be an even bigger surge of users. And I think they're saying that the tweet storm might also assist because they're trying to get funding from venture capital. And they're going to do that every Monday, 12 Central. So
what do you guys get for the tweet storm? They breaking off a little bit of bread? Breaking off a little bit of bread? What's up?
That's what they're saying, that the people that have a certain amount of views, because we were there for so long, that would be probably the people that they would use for bringing new members, as well as if they venture into getting advertisements. More than likely, ads are going to go to our videos first because of the amount of views we have before looking elsewhere to other popular users.
So what's the reason why they're trying to ban TikTok in the US though?
So apparently TikTok is being accused of selling information, personal information and data to China. Based on everybody's personal accounts. They're selling all of everybody's personal information to specifically Beijing.
Gotcha. So I'm guessing this is like the stuff on your profile, like your name, your address, the stuff you like.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
And this is different from Facebook selling our stuff to Russia.
Right, that's what I was about to say.
I mean,
that's why Facebook's in trouble right now, though.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these tech companies are kind of, I think isn't that the reason why people are pulling out of, people are pulling out of Facebook right now because of the ads, right? The political ads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the political ads was the main thing, I think, but they should have been in trouble for the information they were collecting on people.
Yeah. I think that's interesting. When you think about that, though, right? We talk about the freedoms and our privacy and protection and stuff like that. Is that something we're willing to give up for something like that? You know what I mean? Like, people are like, oh my gosh, outraged because Facebook is selling our stuff. If Facebook was like, you can use Facebook and we will sell your stuff, or you can not use Facebook, how many people do you think would stop using Facebook? I mean, I appreciate, I'd probably be better because it'd be upfront. You know what I mean? Not to say it's not upfront. I've never actually read any of Facebook's user agreements because I really don't care. But then again, I also don't put a lot of personal information on my Facebook. But that's the purpose of Facebook, is to put your personal stuff on there. So if they said, Danger, you know what? If you put this profile in here and you put this personal information, we're going to sell it, or you can't use Facebook. I probably just wouldn't use Facebook, but I think a lot of people, that's kind of part of their lives. It's part of their businesses. So it's kind of like,
not to mention a lot of people.
Like, what do we give up? Are we okay as a society, like giving up personal information? We don't know how it's used.
Facebook they have no way of verifying that the information you're putting on there is true. So if you wanted to, you could put false information just for the sake of using the app.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be in the community, bro. You know what I mean?
You could. You could
really know. Is that for your birthday? I'm over here wishing you happy birthday, bro, in December. Your birthday's in October. Fuck.
it's become such a part of the.
Oh, that reminds me.
You a Capricorn too? No.
BarZ has a B-Day coming up, so we gotta figure out.
When is the birthday? Because I know it's in July, but I don't have Facebook, so I don't know.
Damn, sis.
Jeez.
Listen.
Why don't you just ask me off camera? I would have told you.
You know, honestly, ask Danger. He reminds me of everybody's birthday, including my family.
It's Tuesday the 14th.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I'm putting that in my calendar like right now.
Yeah, set an alarm, something.
And then I'll send it to Danger.
Let me see here. School's reopening. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's going on with that? I personally don't understand why a lot of these soccer moms are pushing for it. Maybe it's because they can't stand their kids. I don't know.
How do you feel about
crazy? Yeah. I know my godson is not going inside no school right now.
How do you feel about Trump saying that he's going to defund or not send funds to schools who do not open in August?
Wait, what?
Trump says that he will not send funds to schools that will not open in August.
Yeah, he's threatening that.
So, yeah, I feel like that's a completely irresponsible.
What I want to know is, those are our property taxes. So we agreed, that we know that money goes towards funding schools. Who the hell is he?
Yeah, those
to make a decision based on my taxes or future taxes, for
you're taking my money and you're not allowing me to use up my money on our education? Like, come on.
Right.
And there's a habit of him taking stuff hostage. You know what I mean? He took like the DACA kids hostage. If I don't get what I want, you're not gonna get what you want. Like, that's not how you're supposed to do. You're supposed to serve the community and the people. How you gonna sit there and say that you're gonna, like you said, hold my tax money, which I pay, my whole neighborhood pays.
Yeah.
For the schools that still need the funding, they still need the paint, they still need the infrastructure taken care of, whether there's kids there or not. You know what I mean? Like, there's still money that needs to be paid. So.
Explain to me, what is the benefit of schools opening in August with COVID?
He's proven a point.
The only benefit, and you have to look at it from these ignorant parents' perspectives. A lot of these parents just want their child out of the house.
Mm-hmm. So they can go to work.
They don't want to be home with their child. They want to be able to get up and do whatever they please whenever they feel like it. And they feel like school is kind of like a pseudo childcare service, without even caring that they could be putting their child at risk.
I think that's the primary motivation. I think the second aspect of that, I was hearing some accounts of some of the parents. Some of the parents are not equipped. They've been trying to do the online school with their kids, but they don't have the ability to provide an environment where the kids can really learn. Like if someone's kids like dyslexic or something, they don't have the tools to know how to help them. And putting them back in school is the only way that they know they can get the professional guidance of that. I think that's the other small percentage of people, but I think primarily it is the other people who are just like, I don't know.
But you know what though?
I don't think Trump cares about that. I think it's economic.
Yeah. Well, this one he just says it's the benefit of schools.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, but as far as Trump goes, I don't even think he's thinking that because he's never been a parent. I think for him it's economic.
Shots fired.
I think. Well, I mean, his own ex-wife said that, but I think it's economic because a lot of parents, are not going back to work because they have to homeschool. A lot of businesses are allowing that because what else can they do? Yeah. I think if kids go back to school, that means parents will go back to work, and then that will, further stimulate the economy, which is what they've been trying to do. I think that's what he's thinking in his flawed brain. Yeah,
even though that doesn't make sense because it's not really a situation. I don't. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Just from the stuff that I hear from the accounts, it's not like a situation where people are like, "I'm not getting money because my kid's being homeschooled." The stories that I'm hearing are a lot of people work from home, which means that they're still able to work. It's their business. The companies they work for still are managing while they're home, while also homeschooling kids. Like I don't hear a lot of accounts where people are like, I can afford not to get money right now to homeschool my kid. I don't hear a lot of those.
For that specific demographic though, but there's a lot of people in the service industry that are not able to work from home who those are the people that they want to push out there. People like you and me who can work from home, we stimulate the economy to a certain extent. But there's people in the service jobs that are really the backbone.
That's
of
true.
The economy.
That's true because what's name's wife is works I think in a nursing home, and obviously she can't be at home. So where they live, schools are already open. Like they already let like daycares and stuff like that open, like childcare. And she was like, "Yeah, absolutely. When it opens, I'm going to send them because I don't have a choice."
Yeah.
But like I actually have to go to work.
Retailers, restaurants, people where that are stimulating the economy, like where cash and cards are flowing constantly. Those are the people that really are the backbone of the economy, and those industries are hurting right now. Yeah. And the only way to really get them back working is to send the kids back to school.
Yeah, and I definitely get that. You know what I mean? With that being the case, because without adequate support from the government during this time, because it is a unique time where obviously finances have to be available for people to take care of themselves and to make a living. At the same time, we're trying to reduce the spread of this stuff. It's tough because, like you said, a lot of those service people are point of view, they're face-to-face contact.
And they're getting assistance. They're the ones getting public assistance right now, unemployment, so the bulk of that is going to them. So the government wants to stop paying for that. Yeah. Because they need that money, to go towards other things. Yeah. And at the same time, how do we get them back to work? They're like, well, I'm not going back because my kids' schools aren't open. Right, open the schools, send the kids back to work, get those people off unemployment, and get them back stimulating the economy. He cares nothing about the spread of COVID. For all he cares, our kids can get sick and take it home to us. They just replace that person with somebody else.
Yep. Yeah. You ain't lying. They stingy. They was really not trying to dole out any more stimulus money. They're like,
wasn't this the first time he's shown up and worn a mask anywhere?
Yep.
Recently.
Yep, it is.
Like,
that's not what I saw with the mask under his nose, is it?
Oh, it was under his nose?
Yes.
No, I think
why am I not surprised?
I don't think about it. The fact that he has one on his face at all.
That's probably where I saw that man at the grocery store today with a mask under his nose.
Yo, this nigga could have had it on his ear for all I care. It was sore on his face. That's a compromise. I guess I gotta take it.
I mean, I saw somebody at the grocery store today with a mask under his nose, and I told him to fix it.
There's a lot of people doing that, and I don't think they realize that your nose is a wet orifices.
Yeah.
Your eyes, your nose, your mouth, these are wet orifices. So you try to do your best to protect, your mouth, obviously, because you're talking in and out, but your nose too, guys. No.
Common sense isn't so common.
No.
Man.
All right, so we have another one. Not your responsibility. Danger. What's that about?
Perfect transition, Jay. So, speaking about COVID, right? Talking about the whole mask situation, as you're probably aware, there's like a lot of conversations about people who are pro-mask and people who are anti-mask. There was a recording. There's a couple of recordings. There's a lot of hearings that are going around, like city council meetings that are going around to pass laws about if masks should be required or not. So there's some people who are on one side obviously would think definitely should be required. We're trying to stop the spread of this and keep people safe. There's other people who are like, that infringes on my rights. So one person that they had at the city council meeting, she had said that it's not my responsibility to keep you safe.
Mm.
And I thought about that, and it made me think, is she right? And also, if it's not her responsibility as a society, if it's not me and you individually, it's not our society, whose responsibility is it?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to throw that out there. Like, do you think that it's individuals' responsibilities to wear masks? Like, if I'm sick, does it matter? Like, should I be responsible for putting a mask on to protect you?
Right.
Or should you see me without a mask and be like, I'm gonna go the fuck around?
It has to be one or the other because I think it's both.
I don't think it's both.
It can't be both, because if you're saying that it's my responsibility to protect you, that means that you're saying that there should be a law mandating.
No,
it's your responsibility.
My responsibility to protect you and your responsibility to protect me.
Right.
So we're responsible for each other, the strangers.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I thought about that, and I thought about it to say this too on another level. Right? If it's our responsibility and I decide not to do it, is it now the establishment's responsibility to say you can't, eat here, or you can't come into the store without a mask?
And they do.
Yeah.
And some do, even before it was like a thing, right?
It's their responsibility to protect their customers.
Okay. So, and I add another level to this. For me, I think it's the government's responsibility. I don't think that individuals should be trusted to do the right thing. I don't think companies and businesses should be trusted to do the right thing. Because what we saw with them opening up is that while there were things put in phase one, like 25% occupancy for restaurants, you're trusting that people are going to do the right thing, right? My restaurant's been closed for a minute, though. I need this money. I'm going to keep that 25% up to about 45.
Right.
Maybe 50, because I need the additional money that I missed out on. I feel it's the government's responsibility to say 25 is 25. We fine you with one person over, we fine that ass. Or you shut them down. Like they have to say it. Because if not, you still trust individuals. Huh?
They haven't said that? I thought that was.
It's not being enforced. So things started becoming more enforced when the number started spiking up. And that's been what, two weeks ago? 2-3 weeks ago? So it's already been put in place. Wheels have already been rolling, like the bars and the restaurants and the stuff that's overflowing has already happened. Like the numbers are only going to keep spreading from here. It's not, the week was high. Think about all those people who are sick, who are around other people who are not sick, and then all people are sick. You know what I mean? Like, it's a chain reaction. So my thing is the government's responsibility to come in and say, hey, you have to do this. And I equate it to the seatbelt. And I remember we did this when we were in high school. I don't know if y'all remember. We had this assembly, this random assembly that wasn't from the school, and they had brought in someone from Florida Department of Transportation or something. What is it? It's the ones that do highway.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember. They did a little presentation about the importance of like not drinking and driving and wearing seatbelts. One of the things that they did is they had like a carton, and the carton was wrapped in they had an egg. And the egg was in this carton full of styrofoam. And, they went ahead and shook it. And when they shook it, they were like, that's 30 miles per hour. And the egg broke. Even inside, like the styrofoam. It was protected. And they were explaining that even at 30 miles per hour, if you're not wearing a seatbelt, you can go ahead and fly out the car. They said the seatbelt, though, is not just about keeping you safe. They said that they've seen instances where one person's wearing a seatbelt and one person's not, and they've collided, and the person not wearing a seatbelt flies out of that car and impales the other person.
Yeah.
So the whole mask thing is not just about, I don't care if I get COVID. It's about you not giving it to me.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a fucking seatbelt. You know what I mean?
I think also you look at it when you said that about her saying it's not her responsibility to protect other people. When you're driving on a daily basis, regardless of whether there's a red light or a green light, if you see a car coming towards you, you're gonna stop so that you don't collide with that other car.
Yeah.
It's about keeping yourself safe and keeping other people safe. Even if you don't care about the other person, you're gonna stop before that car comes towards you.
Yeah, but it's mostly about you. You don't want to get into an accident. I think that's what we're seeing.
Right.
It is a selfishness. So in this case, I'm not wearing a mask because I feel like it infringes on my rights and I should not have to do it. And I think that that's one of the concerns about what's going on right now is that there's all of these people. I think a lot of us are taking this I approach, not realizing that we have to worry about we. Because if we worry about we can get this under control. But if we keep doing we're going to keep slipping through the cracks and keep spreading it. Because you're thinking about yourself, not the effects that you have on other people's lives.
And I think
they don't understand that it's a we concept. They don't get the idea that it is a we thing. We have to protect it.
Right, and this is my thing too. And this is the other thing about it. It's like, okay, so it's not your responsibility to protect it. If you're not wearing a mask and you sneeze within 6 feet of me, I have the right to fuck you up.
Right.
Because now I have to protect myself. I'm in danger. I'm in imminent danger right now.
That's
I don't know if you're sick.
Technically, that's self-defense.
That's right. And I feel like that should be the law. You don't want to wear a mask? Don't wear a mask. You sneeze in my vicinity. Let me get that recording. Let me get a witness. And I got to put hands on it. I got to protect myself. You got to protect yourself. We'll see how many people continue to not wear masks.
This whole pandemic is exposing a lot of the flaws that we have within this country, the individualism, the wealth gap, the healthcare gap, the wage gap, against Black and brown people. It's like exposing so much stuff. It's really interesting. So, like socially, as a pseudo-sociologist is looking at it, it's interesting.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's kind of scary.
It's the real. It's the stuff with all of the what's being taken away, man. It's all the distractions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Traffic, all the distractions. The traffic, all the distraction. The news reports we get about the murders, all that noise is gone, and now you see the real stuff. You know what I mean? We saw the whole thing with the Black Lives Matter movements and all the protests. A lot of people, most Black people have seen it because we experienced it, but a lot of people who are not Black got all of that distraction, all of the what's name moved out of their view. And they're like, holy shit, this thing has been happening for a while. Like, it's real. Like, yeah, right? Like, yeah, that one clip on the news wasn't a fluke. It happens all the time. And I think that, we are seeing that. We're seeing the real of us. We're seeing all of the all the stuff with the Karens. And we're seeing like, oh my gosh, it's happening.
Let's talk about those
Karens. Because they're getting caught.
Yeah. Fucking Karens.
Let's talk about those Karens real quick. Go ahead, Danger. Let's continue with that direction.
Oh yeah. So so Karen cares, guys.
Karen cares?
Karen.
About what?
Herself. But that could potentially change. There's actually a piece of legislation out in San Francisco that's called the Karen Act that is meant to be in place, where under the Karen Act, and that's CAREN, people who call law enforcement based on racial biases could face criminal charges.
One,
which I think we were talking about before, which needs to happen. So.
Yeah, I think it's funny that they named it that. But it's fucked up that they took our credit by giving it a C instead of a K, like we intended it for it to be.
Yeah. Is it an acronym for something?
It probably is. I don't know.
Caution against racially exploitative non-emergencies.
Oh, okay.
That's crafty.
I guess that's why I had to use a C instead of a K.
I guess. I guess.
No,
Nobody named with Karen begins with a C.
Yeah, that might work out better. That might be a good thing though.
Karen is a white person's name. So they took the race out of it by adding the C.
You know what? That might be a good thing. I heard some ridiculous stuff about non-racist people named Karen getting death threats and stuff just because their name is Karen. Because people take it too far. If they're not on video, don't fuss with them.
You gotta nip it in the butt before it starts. You gotta nip the shit in the butt. Like they try calling the white men Bobs. It's not happening. We're not doing that. We gotta come up with something else.
Kens. How about Kens? Karens and Kens.
I think Chad fits.
No, I have a friend named Chad, and he's not racist at all.
Okay.
Yeah, he's actually the opposite of racist. He's a very confused ally.
No, he's not confused.
Hey, he had him cornrows.
He used to wear cornrows back in the day. With his blonde hair, because he appreciates the culture.
That's what's up. I fuck with her.
Yeah.
So
I hope that passes, and I hope it spreads, man.
So can I be arrested for like calling the police on a white person? If I say there's a white person attacking me?
At this time, if this act passed, if you're in San Francisco, probably not, because they'll probably identify that you're black. However, if enough black people start like calling the cops on like Indian people, or like Hispanic people, or Asian people, or white people, I feel like they'll probably just blanket it for everybody. But I think starting off, they're gonna get some leeway. They're just gonna be like, I understand.
It's possible.
Yeah. Well, this CNN report said it's not just Karen. There are also names like Becky, which has also come to symbolize the stereotypes of witnesses, and Susan and Chad.
I think it's different. I think Karen, Chad's on there.
Positive.
So the Chad, BarZ, you got it. Chad's are in. It's official.
Becky's positive. That's not a negative stereotype.
Yeah. We can't. Becky means something completely different.
Yeah, I think Becky pertains to a fallacious woman.
I like that, G.
No comment.
Like a promiscuous fallacious.
Shouts out the plies.
South Florida legend.
But making a false police report is already a misdemeanor. Now they're going to add that separate, right? That additional charge of it being racially motivated, which was going to be like what, another class of misdemeanor or felony?
They never act on a false police report. They don't do shit about that. They never have.
That's the thing. It's not something that we've actually seen. We don't hear about criminal charges against the Karens. We hear about how they lose their jobs. We do, but we rarely, like, if I can count on my finger, the most recent one, it was like she was the only one I know who had criminal charges. Everybody else, I haven't heard a single thing about.
That's with the gun, right? That's the one that had the gun out on the black mom and her daughter.
No, not that one. Was that the most recent one?
I think. Well, that's the most recent one I know of.
Oh, okay.
So we have to be careful because we have to make sure that we aren't creating the Karens.
I was just gonna say because they were the antagonist in that situation.
Yeah. I had the story mixed up before. I was under the impression that this couple had hit their car or something like that, and they were trying to prevent them from stopping. But really, okay, so white lady and black lady, you're walking out of the store or the bank or something. They're walking out, and the white lady, she accidentally bumps the lady's 15-year-old daughter. She doesn't say excuse me or anything like that, but she accidentally bumps her. She goes about her business. And the black lady, she stays behind her. She's like, excuse me, you just bumped my daughter. You're not going to say excuse me. You're not going to apologize. And the white lady just kind of like, was like, no, I'm not going to, or whatever like that. I didn't touch her, or she ran into me, or whatever like that. And she goes to her car. So the black lady, she's a little persistent at this point. She's like, yo, you're going to apologize. You have to apologize to my daughter. You just nudged her out of your way, walking out to your car. And the white lady's like, no, she's getting into her car. So they proceed to actually block in this couple's car. And the white lady, she gets out of her vehicle with the gun saying, you're keeping me here against my will, basically, which she kind of was.
Yeah.
That technically, yeah.
we have to be careful in those scenarios that we're not, I guess, reaching to an extent.
Yeah, that one would be.
I don't know. A good therapist could say that many years of oppression by white oppressors causes Black people to experience PTSD over small social situations that would normally be considered just like a mishap. Make them go crazy on some white folks.
You know what?
I'm just saying.
Not wrong.
But
She's not wrong.
We can't make them Karens. They're not the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
We got to make sure that when there's injustice, when there's Karens, and those situations, those are those. And then there's situations where people are just wrong. Those are different. You know what I mean? It's not like the lady.
They want to create an entire situation out of nothing.
Right. It's not the same thing. Like that might have been a grievance that she had, and that's the situation. That's the situation. It wasn't like somebody was weaponizing police on someone of color. That's this different category.
But I think you kind of think about it as like, had my child been a white child, would she have said, "Excuse me"?
We don't know, but it's not a Karen situation. We could all agree it's not a Karen situation.
I would have just bumped into her like, "Oops, excuse me too."
It's not a Karen situation. It's not a situation where she should have pursued her and blocked in her vehicle.
Yeah.
But
I agree, but I understand.
Yeah, well, yeah, you also have to agree and understand why she came out of her shit with a gun too.
not really. Well, you know what? So this is the thing. I get it. You know why I get it? Because nobody wants to get punched in the face no more. It's not like the old times. Nobody wants to get punched in the face no more. Nope. You know, especially not white ladies, but a lot of people don't get punched in the face no more. They want to grab a gun. So
you have somebody being aggressive towards you in a parking lot, and you're trying to leave the situation. They block your vehicle in. You happen to have your gun with you.
No,
it's an option. Like, look, man, I've exhausted all other options. Let me figure out if this is going to work.
So this
that
is
actually happened to me.
So this is the thing. There's two parts to this, right? First part is you didn't exhaust all your options because you didn't get out the car and say, "Listen, I don't want to drag you in front of your daughter. Move your car." And then if I had to get physical, right? But if you weren't built like that, right? You ain't built like that. Was probably possible. She probably wasn't ready for that smoke. She should have let her know, "Listen, you're blocking me in. I'm armed. I am armed. Take your daughter and go." Because the rule of firearm ownership is that you don't pull out a gun unless you're going to use a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. So if she pulled it, you know what I mean? Now you're just using it. No, tell somebody I'm armed. I have a gun on me right now.
But I feel like that.
Or she could have just said, "I'm sorry" to the lady's daughter.
Yeah,
she could have. But if she wasn't, that would have been the right thing to do. I'm not arguing morality. That would have been the right thing to do. But my thing is that pulling out of the gun is not. I don't think you can legally. Well, in that case, she could legally do it because she's being technically held hostage, legally speaking.
But you know what though? I feel in that situation. I feel like if she just simply said, "I'm armed," the mother and daughter strike me as individuals that would be like, you threatening us? You threatening us? Like,
so what happened when she did?
What the fuck? Why is she gonna be ghetto?
That looks like a character.
She pulled the gun.
Why is she gonna be ghetto? Damn,
she pulled the gun, and the mom and the daughter still didn't give a fuck. They sat there with the camera, not giving a fuck about this lady holding the gun, screaming in their faces with the gun. Yeah. So I don't think it would matter if she would announced that she was armed or not. It would just be like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it would just been one of those things. Well, let me just make sure I'm recording.
This is a cautionary tale. When you're in public, use your home training. If you bump into somebody, you say, "Excuse me."
Yeah, and if they don't, be careful. This is my concern too. Like, you with your kid. You don't know how that could escalate. What if that lady came out and shot you straight in your head? Your story is over. We got to be careful as people, all of us. That's why people start talking to me sideways in public sometimes, or they be doing some stuff, and I just be like, if I was a different person, bro,
it's not worth
like,
it.
You wouldn't have went home. You would have not have known it. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta think about it.
I had a situation where this guy followed me in his car, like, and blocked me. Like, when I tried to get away from him, I tried to switch lanes. He got in front of me. Every time I tried to switch lanes, and I decided to turn into a street. And he blocked me with his car from turning into the street. I literally had to call the police to get this guy. This guy got out of the car to scream at me and call me N-word B. It was a white guy. Literally, because he was drunk. I made a turn onto 441. He didn't have his lights on, so I didn't see him. It was dark. And because I guess he thought I cut him off, dude, your lights were off. Do you even realize?
But see, and in that situation, with it being nighttime, you being a female by yourself, had you drawn a gun out and you had shot him, you would have been in the right.
No, when he got out, when he got out of his car, like I was so tempted to run him over, BarZ, because I felt threatened.
Yeah. She would have had to.
But then I thought, no, seriously, I thought about my life and what will be the aftermath of me killing this man on the street right now.
Yeah.
I decided not to.
Yeah.
And then I called. I didn't kill him, but I thought about running him over because it would have been so easy to do it.
We got lawyers, L, and I got bond money. We good. Do it.
But I called the police. A black police officer showed up. I got a picture of his plates. We ran his plates because he was like, if he has anything, I'm picking him up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't have anything.
Good job for the cops. They did the right thing.
Yeah.
You did the right thing this time. Kudos.
Unfortunately, he didn't have anything on him, but he said, I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. And he said he doesn't live anywhere near your city, so the chance of you running into him again is not gonna happen. But dude, if I had a gun, I probably would have shot him.
I think you just gotta be careful out here as people, man. Don't take unnecessary chances. You can be upset, you can air your grievance. When you realize she's not gonna apologize, what's the extent that you're really willing to go? You with your kid, so you're willing to put hands on her? You willing to put her down? Are you okay if she puts you down? Because that's a possibility. It's not gonna be all you. She might look frail, but you know she had that Sunday special in her purse.
I think it may have started out as a teaching moment for her daughter, not to let people disrespect you, especially like this.
And then it escalated out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't do. I mean, if you have your kid with you, I agree with nature. You don't do that.
Yeah. I agree. I like in the supermarket, you want to do a teachable moment because you don't want your daughter to grow up to feel that people can just push her around and do whatever they want. I get that in the supermarket. The second lesson to that is that sometimes karma has a way of getting people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to address it. It's good that you express, hey, you bumped into me. I think you should apologize. And if they don't, just know that God will take care of them, or karma will take care of them. I think that's the second level of the lesson. Not you can force people to do the right thing.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
That's deep. Think of the last thing on our list is best and worst NBA teams.
Yeah. So it's the best NBA teams
in the worst place.
In the worst place.
Not the New York Knicks.
See, why we gotta get started on? We know we're trash. Let us be trash.
I don't think you guys do.
I don't understand. I don't understand why. I don't understand why
got that
was important. See, we're talking about serious COVID stuff, and you over here talking about. You should feel ashamed, okay? You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed, okay? You guys should be ashamed. Talking about serious stuff. So the NBA playoffs are starting to come back, right? So there's only a handful of teams coming back, obviously, for the playoffs. And over the last 2 weeks, they have been sharing their experiences. They got into Orlando in the bubble, and they've been sharing their experiences on social media, which include a picture of a roach in a corner.
Wow.
And this is not necessarily a shot, but it could be a shot. We'll find out at the end of this. And also meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinners. Have you guys seen the pictures?
Yeah.
I have not. What would we see if we looked at the pictures?
One of my homeboys said that it's akin to school lunch.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah, it's like prepackaged.
It's not even like they're getting prepackaged.
Not necessarily.
No. It's like fruit. You get a fruit cup. I think it's a wrap, like a sandwich wrap.
Damn, it's a lunchable.
Nah.
He said a lunchable too. Yeah, somebody else said it was like a lunchable.
They're getting like grilled chicken and vegetables, zucchini and squash. Like they're getting
For dinner.
They're getting food, my nigga.
For dinner, yeah, but it's not what you expect from the pictures, bro. You think they're just trying to twist it? Because in the pictures,
I think what I think is,
you know what it looks like? It looks like food you get on a plane. right? But not when you're in first class or business.
I think the athletes are super spoiled. One, more specifically the NBA athletes. I feel like a lot of them are super spoiled, and they have to deal with this for 3 months. So they don't like the hotel rooms because it's not 5 stars. They don't like the food because it's not coming from a 4-star restaurant. You know what I mean? Like it's things that they're nitpicking. So you don't fine. Order some food and get it brought to you.
They can't. I don't think they can.
I don't know if I agree with that, BarZ.
No, they can. They can have things come into the bubble. It just has to be disinfected and all of that shit. They have to go through a protocol, but they can. They just
I don't know if I agree with that, BarZ. I mean, that's a little bit.
Oh, let me ask you something. Do you think
you have to live the lifestyle that you become accustomed to? If you're used to getting 4-star meals on a daily basis and living in a mansion, yeah, you're gonna want to stay in a nice place and get some good food.
Some of them, yeah, sure. But if this is what you got to do for 3 months in order to continue to get your money, hundreds of millions of dollars, man, if you don't suck that shit up.
So
you can't give me some fresh strawberries. Why I gotta get a fruit cup?
Fresh strawberries. Can I get hot food for lunch? I don't care what the fresh is. Can I get hot food for lunch? Do I have to wait all day until dinner to get something hot in the body?
That part.
They get microwaves.
What am I gonna microwave? I'm a microwave wrap, bro. I'm a microwave the Mac. The wrap got lettuce and tomato and shit. I gotta dissect it, scrape off the Dijon mustard.
At least some Chick-fil-A.
You're expecting a whole lot of work from me.
You can't tell.
Plus, I didn't have to be here. It's voluntary. I would have got paid. I would have got paid if I was at home.
Right. So take your ass home.
I can't get no Panera bread. Not even some Chick-fil-A. I need something.
Your ass home. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
You think LeBron James is eating them type of fucking meals? He not eating that shit.
Eating what?
There's no way. There's no way he's eating that shit.
You say he ain't eating the food. Okay. Also, okay, cool. Food alone, right? You can go ahead and bring in your own food. You got millions of dollars. You should do that. This is the accommodations that they're offering. The NBA is offering, right? Housing accommodations, though, bro. It's Disney. It's a Disney resort. It's a Disney resort.
Disney resorts are trash.
Don't you expect not to find roaches at your establishment?
Disney resorts are trash. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the best. They're not the best. I mean,
I did not know.
There's some hotels outside, like not too far away from the resorts that are way better than the actual resort.
Yeah.
Right, but we have a contract with Disney. ESPN is under Disney. So It's cheaper for us to house at Disney.
So then if they're gonna house under Disney, right? Don't you think they would go the extra mile to make sure that the places that they're staying in is in top condition?
Absolutely, they should.
Super clean, all that good stuff.
They should.
And they didn't.
But they're not. And that's not their problem, right, BarZ? It ain't their problem. It's you problem.
Okay, so
you want to chase this ring or you want comfort?
Have you seen the WNBA pictures compared?
No.
I did not know that they were starting back up.
They have it 10 times worse. Their laundry facilities are disgusting.
That's awful.
They're bad.
Why couldn't they get them? Hold up, bro. Why couldn't they get them at the same resort
That's ridiculous.
as NBA?
Because women aren't worth as much apparently.
Okay, all right.
Apparently.
Yeah. That's messed up though. I'm pretty sure they could have got a group rate for everybody.
# equal pay, equal work.
Right. Start that. Yes.
Yeah. Listen,
I haven't seen them. I'm gonna start checking them out though for sure.
I think for 3 months, man, if you're making that much money, you can suck it up for 3 months. The food is it's not like they're not eating fucking beef stroganoff or.
And it's temporary.
It's so temporary. It's temporary. It's 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's like feeling like prison there, bro. Can't get no steak, no lobster.
If you got paid $50 million to spend 3 months in prison.
Are the owners?
You say prison?
Are the owners eating Lunchables?
Or an Orlando resort? Which one? Is it a Disney resort or prison?
That is a good question. I don't think the owners are being treated that way either.
Spend 3 months in prison, and let's not even say prison. Let's say jail. Let's say jail, not prison. Let's say jail.
All right.
$50 million.
here's my problem with it.
Sure.
The players are doing the bulk of the work, and they're not getting paid as much as the owners. They look at that, right? The pay gap and that.
Well,
Even though they're getting paid millions of dollars, I'm sure the owners might eat Lunchables.
I don't think the owners are in the bubble. I don't think anyone's shown up to the bubble.
Yeah, the
owners wise. The coaching, I think the coaching staff is eating the same thing. Yeah,
and they're limited also. The coaching staff is even limited. But Leon, no, of course, no, the players aren't getting paid more than the owners, and they shouldn't be. They're owners. If I own a company, my employees aren't going to get paid more than me. They're going to get paid handsomely. They won't be paid more than me. So, again, for $50 million, I'll spend 3 months in a jail eating jail food as long as I can get my mansion and my chef and my cars and everything else back on the house.
3 months are up.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay,
all right.
I will not spend 3 months in jail, $50 million.
Yo, y'all might want to have that discussion.
Wait.
Will not.
Type of team.
Will not.
Did you see Danger's face? He stood there, he was like,
Will not spend 3 months in jail for $50 million.
What?
Jail?
You can do
Jail?
prison. The women in jail is a little bit different. Okay.
Jail?
Really? It's like a sorority. It'd be fine.
Excuse me?
He's not even talking
we're
about
not
prison.
talking
He's
about
talking
oranges and
jail.
black now.
Yeah,
right.
I brought it down to jail. Like,
Someone brought it out of jail.
I don't know. I would stay at a Disney resort.
Yo,
I'll complain about the food I will complain the entire time about the food, yes. But I will stay in there for 3 months for $50 million and complain the whole way. But I will not go to jail or prison for $50 million.
I sincerely hope that never comes our way as an option.
Y'all gonna have a red table talk? Go ahead.
There's a period where I didn't think we was gonna make it through.
Then y'all give each other a high five at the end of the conversation.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Listen, I think high fives and fist bumps are important to couples because they're also teammates. It's not a full-on make-out session after the thing. We high five all the time.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. We high five and stay in the car.
That was one time.
High five
That
into
was
a
We
kiss.
do
Though.
high five.
We high five one time, yes.
High five into a kiss.
And it's not even like a makeout session. It's just a little pop kiss.
Yeah, that's
Like a little
it.
pat.
Why do they have to do that?
They don't have to, but I'm saying it would have been, would have been.
So this is my thing. I haven't seen footage of them high-fiving before. I know I've seen them on movie sets together at the beach, high-fiving. This is the first high-five I saw. It happened after they talked about they were separated and sleeping on the beach.
I've seen it on YouTube videos when they're hanging out in the house and they're filming the YouTube videos. They high five.
High-five.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess there may not be nothing wrong, guys.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the hell's wrong with high five.
There's nothing wrong with high five.
I'm gonna stop hugging you. I'm gonna start high-fiving you all the time.
After the type of conversation that they had and reassuring each other of the love, you would think, a pop kiss would have been more appropriate than a.
As long as they're doing that
Go
in
team.
public, as long as they're doing that in private, they're having those conversations. I feel like that was for red table talk. That's because people were talking. I don't really need them to have a conversation out in the public about, putting their marriage back together. I feel like they had to. But I feel like they already worked that out. That was years ago.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, wouldn't you want to show that it's worked out for something a little bit more intimate than a high five? You give your nigga a high five.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Fish. Dope.
Would you have at your wedding, instead of kissing the bride, high five?
You may high five the bride.
That's a wedding.
This was the end of a.
And the pastor says you may not kiss your bride.
Yeah, but this was like after we're saying that we had some rough times and we came back together. We're stronger than ever.
Time ago.
Let me show you how strong we are.
This was 4 years ago.
Yeah, but you're talking about it now to the public.
Yeah, it's
if you
fresh.
want to show us that you're strong with a high five.
It's old to them, but it's fresh to everybody else.
It's different than Michelle and Barack because we saw the high fives and we also saw the kissing and the more tender.
And honestly, it wouldn't have taken that much effort. It would have been like, look, people, shut up. We love each other. Mwah. See? Now leave us alone.
Exactly.
Or even a hug.
Even a hug.
A hug would have been.
Y'all would have scrutinized the kiss. Yo would have scrutinized
How
the
about
kiss.
the hug?
That
Just the
kiss
hug.
was just 1 second. Jada's lips were closed, and she rolled her eyes afterwards. You stop the video right there. She rolled her eyes.
Okay, maybe.
Y'all
But it would not have been.
Hold
Hold on, maybe, but it would not have been as critical as a high five.
Who is critical?
What's worse than a high five if they went?
Who is criticizing?
Right back at
high
you.
five?
That's like, I love you. Right back at you.
Yeah, right. Love you. Me too.
Who's criticizing the high five other than BarZ?
Yeah. People talking.
Are people really out there criticizing the high five?
I don't know. It's something that I caught. I thought that was a little strange.
Cause you like extra affectionate.
You damn right I do. Show me you love me.
Okay, so that's a you issue.
That's right, son.
That's
right,
son.
Yeah.
After you have an affair on me, show me you love me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you wanted her to straddle the man on tabletop?
I asked for a pop kiss. That's
It's
it.
like I think I kind of understand where BarZ is coming from. If they can make public that you had sex outside of your marriage,
They didn't.
Public.
I'll see them.
Yeah, but no, they did. They went on the red table talk and talked about it.
They did.
The entanglement. Remember?
They talked about it.
They
this
talked
past
about
Friday.
No, I'm saying they wouldn't have had to come out with that
But
if
they-
August had not.
Right, but they did.
But since it came out,
at the end of this, they said we back together and strong.
It was exactly because it wasn't just Jada coming out to talk about it. She had Will with her, so they're standing for each other. They're supporting each other. They're showing that no matter what, I do love you.
Have you seen the Father's Day special that they did, where at the end of it they were like crying about just how much love they have for each other, and there were hugs and there's a lot of affection there. That was Father's Day. That was just a couple weeks ago.
So you get a hug on Father's Day, and then you tell us about how you guys separated, came back together and stronger than ever.
And I get a high five.
Because at the moment that was appropriate for what they were talking about.
If you watch the end of the video, you will see. Yo, can we run it really quick just so she can see the last like 30 seconds?
Let me see if I can find it.
She saw it. She doesn't like the criticism. She doesn't think it's weird. It's not that she doesn't think it's weird or not weird. She doesn't like the criticism that people are getting because they're reading into it. But it's weird.
Body language.
Y'all need to just leave these people alone. Let them just be happy.
Because she doesn't like the critics.
It's not weird. Leaving these people alone. Let them be happy. Why can't y'all just let them be happy?
Yo,
I want them to be. I'm not saying that they're not happy, but I'm not sure if they're happy or not. I want them to be happy. I want them to be cool. We might be reading into it, but that was kind of strange. We want them to be happy. I think we all want them to be happy.
Leave for work in the morning.
You know what it is? What Jada and Will were on a pedestal regarding like Black love, just like Barack and Michelle are. Y'all had them on a pedestal, and y'all seen Pinks in that little armor.
Right.
But what I think what I want to impress on is that part of the journey in making a more perfect relationship and union is going through that stuff and coming out on the other side.
Right, and when you come out on the other side, you show people we came out on the other side with a high five. We went through an amazing journey together.
They could even have worse.
My thing is this, right?
So much better.
Even if they didn't kiss, that same hug that he got on Father's Day, they could have done that same hug after this very deep, intimate conversation about their relationship.
I don't think it was that deep and intimate. What I think happened is that this is a conversation they probably had a lot over the years, and it's exhausting, and they've exhausted it, right? They've moved past it already. And what I saw in the body language was Jada annoyed that she got to talk about this, and Will basically encouraging her, holding her accountable to say everything so that it's over, because he's tired of hearing about it now.
Right.
That's what I saw.
So why
and they might have been fighting about whether or not they should have the conversation on table talk to begin with. You don't know what it brought up for them.
Solidify it. Like, hey, we've gotten past this. We are bigger than this. We have grown greater than this moment here. This is where we are now. High five.
Y'all just want to see it. You know what? I understand. Y'all want to see mommy and daddy showing affection. I get it. I get it. But I think they're over it. That's what I think is going on.
I agree.
Yeah, that's true.
I would be over it too. You mean we dealt with this shit like 4 years ago? We went to therapy. We had like, I don't know how much money we spent on therapy and stayed up late talking, and we got to go through this shit again.
But,
All right,
but
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this so we can.
Even in the situation where they're over it, that should give them even more reason to kind of just close the whole conversation with all the naysayers. Look, we're good, or a hug. Shut up, leave us alone, and then boom.
Right.
But if they've been hugging and you've seen them hug on other episodes, why is it so important that they hug now?
Well, because because of what they were talking about, the subject matter of the situation. I think the last thing I'm gonna say, and I guess we can move on, and you guys can keep going, is that they are addressing this not because they wanted to address it. They're addressing this to set things straight for the public.
Yeah.
That Red Table Talk was for the public. It wasn't for them. It's for us. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing it for us, you don't show us you guys are good for us with a high five. You show us you're good for us with a hug or a kiss, something that has more of a sense of a romantic context to it. Because it was for us. It's not for them. It's so we know what really was going on, because there's rumors. There's August Alsina saying certain things. We don't have a full picture. You came on Red Table Talk to give us a better picture, not a complete picture.
Not even just that. She announced she was going to come to the Red Table. Yeah. So she already let people know, hey, I'm getting something ready for you all. Mm-hmm. I'm presenting something for you guys this coming Friday. And when that presentation came.
Could it also be possible that they already feel like they're being put on display already by having to talk about it? You're already in front of the public. They're already scrutinizing everything. You guys had this rough patch in your marriage, and it's being, it's already out there. You already feel exposed. You know what I mean? It's not something that they were willing to talk about.
They got to keep reliving it.
So I'm compassionate to that. I don't know. I don't know what would have been, if anything they would have done would have been enough. What was that? Thunderclap?
that was my high five to myself.
Lord, I can't.
Okay, so to close us out, Sir BarZ, hit us with the usual torture of the week.
Hey, Elle, are you joining us for this one?
I don't know if you want to be here for this.
Is it going to be something easy, talking nasty stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Hypothetical of the episode.
No, she's not going to play.
I'm intrigued. I don't know. I'll see if I play. I decide.
No, you can't wait.
Give me a number.
If you're not, you're not.
Give me a number.
You don't get to see. If you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're not. So you got to make a decision now. You don't get to preview.
Who gives us his rules?
That's the way it works here.
Oh, I guess.
So you in or you out?
I decide afterwards.
No, you don't. She's not playing. Do not let her pick a number.
So I gotta pick a number?
Yeah, just give me a number 1 through 30.
If you pick a number, it means you're in. You have to answer it. There's no, I don't want to play rules or blah, blah, blah. Once you're in,
I make my own rules 5.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You're not going to be allowed back on the podcast. There's an honor and a code here. There's an honor and a code here. We are people of our word. We say we're going to do something, and we answer the uncomfortable questions.
What is this, a code?
It's a code. All society has rules to stay together since the beginning of the time.
All right, so you got 5. Go ahead, Danger.
4.
Okay.
12.
12. 5, 4, and 12.
Do we need to? Should we pick one for you now?
Huh?
Should we pick one for you now, or we're gonna wait?
You pick one for me now. As a collective.
Anybody throw out a number for BarZ?
8.
There we go. 8.
The 8, 5, 4, 12, 8. Okay. So 1, 2, 5, 4, 12.
I feel like we should tag a warning at this part of the podcast.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Like, if you were listening with your kids.
You might want to leave the room or
yes.
skip to the end where you hear the commercial.
All right, so we're going with 5 first, right? 5, 4, 12, and 8. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so L, would you rather lose the ability to have sex with other people or lose the ability to masturbate?
Sure, the easy one first time around. Okay.
Yeah, she did. It was kind of late.
That's not even a question. Lose the ability to masturbate.
Okay, all right. So you plan on relying on other people?
My husband, yes.
You're not answering this as if you're married.
Short thing over here, kid.
I'm good.
All right. That's good. Who picked number 4? You picked number 4. All right. Danger. Would you rather receive only oral for the rest of your life or only give anal for the rest of your life?
Whoa! Whoa!
Did you say give?
That escalated real quick.
Hold on.
Golly.
So my options are get some mouth or give us some ass.
I don't know if it's saying that you.
I think in your case, it's probably receive oral or penetrate a backside.
Yeah, for us. Would you rather penetrate a mouth or a hole?
I'm gonna have to go mouth. Yeah. Go mouth. Okay. Just clean up out of the message. We're good.
It's pretty selfish of you.
No, ain't nobody trying to do that.
You're not married. These are single people questions.
This is a hypothetical by yourself type of question.
No butt stuff.
Yeah. Plus, there's only one speed. You go butt stuff. There's only one speed. You know what I mean? The mouth. You got options, levels to that.
All right, G. Would you rather make an unattractive face when you orgasm or make weird noises?
I'm gonna have to go with unattractive face. Because at the end of the day, I can cover my face while I make the nasty face.
But
Or I can put a pillow on my
the
face or whatever.
unattractive face could be perceived as it wasn't good.
All right, are you really doing the job if you're able to cover your face?
That's
Right.
true. Because I'm like, it's one of those uncontrollable things where it just happens in the middle of the climax.
Hey,
what would that noise be?
Huh?
What would that noise be?
I'm trying to figure out. Because here's the thing. It's like, what would I get made fun of more about from my spouse?
It don't matter. We make fun of it all.
He busts off and goes,
You're gonna get made fun of anyway. You're gonna get made fun of anyway. Just pick what you want, regardless of fun of.
You know.
I'm gonna go with face.
It's like a tiny sneeze.
Yeah, I think I still go with face. I feel like the sound. There's no coming back from whatever sound I make.
Yeah,
It's gonna be absolutely ridiculous. Like it's just not gonna. It's just not gonna.
Pops made in Soul Plane where he was touching the mashed potatoes.
Yo, G, what would the ugly face look like?
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't know what the ugly face would look like because in the moment, it's involuntary movements. So I have no idea what the face would look like.
Every muscle in your face just contracted. Just. Real crazy.
Like borderline seizure, just
You like, yo, you stroking out?
Man.
Oh, man.
All right, what number did we choose for bars? We chose 8, right?
Yeah.
You chose 8 for me?
Yeah. So I think you can get the worst one. It seems like you can get the worst one. All these have been pretty good. Maybe we got to the worst ones already, and the rest of these are kind of like, not too bad.
Number 8. Would I rather work at a strip club or work as a prostitute? That's easy.
Prostitute.
Hell yeah, I ain't splitting no money. Yeah, right.
Hey,
Wait a minute.
You got no pimp.
As a prostitute,
I don't need no pimp.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know, but you don't know the streets like that. I think that you need representation.
You might have a pimp card.
I wouldn't get a pimp. I'll be a street walker.
And you can make too much money. One of these people will knock you over your head and say you need a pimp.
Yeah, I'll make an OnlyFans. Don't worry about it.
Also, you know if you are a man of the night, you don't get a lot of options of prostitution. Strip clubs. You know what I mean, it's usually strictly just so.
I'm going up to the finest cars. Listen,
the finest cars. Oh, look, there's a Tesla.
nothing cheaper than an Acura. Okay, that's my bar. An Acura.
Wow.
You're like, yo, is this LX? Is this LX? Is leather here?
No, it's a DX.
Nah.
Oh man, this was good.
But like BarZ doesn't have confidence in his dance skills.
Oh, that's what you're trying to say? That's why you're not going to the strip club?
Listen, gotta get how I live.
Hey, it is what it is. All right, man. Well, this was a really good episode. Very insightful.
Yeah, it was
nice. It was lighter. It was nice.
Yeah, it was way lighter than the past couple. Kind of needed it. But as always,
hey, Breonna Taylor's killers are still free. 3 of the 4 police officers that killed George Floyd are officially free. Well, not free, but they're on bail. Feel free to do as you want with them as well. Yeah, all that good stuff.
That Breonna Taylor story is crazy to me. And
no, the Breonna Taylor.
You know what hurts me? You know what keeps me like? What got me was something that happened a year ago. Was the kid in Aurora, Colorado?
Yeah.
That was like, that tore my heart out.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
And we'll talk more about it on the next podcast.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, we talked about Elijah in the last one.
We did talk about Elijah in the last one.
Yeah. Somebody hasn't been keeping up with the episodes.
Who, me? What?
No,
I have not. I know what I overhear something.
We're recording. You don't say it when we're on.
Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah. Always.
We forgive you. But as always,
hey, keep supporting those people, because when you support those people, you are also simultaneously supporting you.
And with that, we are out.
Deuces.
Bye.